MultiGen, ADUs, LiveGen, Junior Suites. What is it all? What's the difference? And how can we help you and your family get into one of them? We're going to be going over that today, guys. We have the Sedan Realty team and New Builds for You here together, like always, and we're going to be going over what's the difference, why you should be buying one or who should be buying one, and how you can get one, right? So we're going to be going over most of these homes that we're going to be talking about are going to be in the Inland Empire. There will be some that come up in LA County, but for the most part, we're talking about San Bernardino County and Riverside County. So guys, let's get into a little bit. We're gonna be talking about the difference. We hear MultiGen, ADUs, live-in, junior suites, all this stuff. What's kind of the difference there?
So I would say the biggest thing is with the ADU, that's an additional dwelling unit. So that's completely separate from the main house. So that's from ground up. That's gonna have its own power, its own sewer.
Yeah, and as far as like an ADU, right, it's gonna be something that has a kitchenette, right? It's gonna have a stove. You're gonna have the fridge there, which is gonna be a little bit different from a MultiGen, which we'll go over right now. But with ADU, you have the option to get it attached, detached. I think the ADU is the most popular route to go. It's probably gonna be the best route to go because you don't have to worry about the kitchen and all that. They have all that in there.
Well, I think ADUs, the big difference is like ADUs are a lot on resale homes. You don't really see them on new construction most of the time. Yep. So an ADU is most of the time going to be either like an investor who bought a home and they're building it, or a family who's converting a garage. Yeah. And so that's the big difference is it'll be like a detached garage maybe in the back. It'll be something that they build up from the back. So it'll have like its separate entrance usually along the side gate. It's completely separate. Sometimes they give you a little courtyard. So that's like meant for two separate families. Like, you usually rent something like that out. Whereas the MultiGen is usually more for like, maybe another family that you already friends with or family or parents. That's kind of the big difference.
Yeah, MultiGens are usually smaller. MultiGen, LiveGen, Junior Suite, it's all kind of the same thing. Some of them do have kitchenettes, some don't. Some have their own entrance, some don't. Usually they're attached to the home. And most of the time they are smaller. I'd say probably under 400 square feet most of the time, like little living rooms. It's not even a full kitchenette, really. It's usually just like a little tabletop stove, maybe a microwave, maybe fridge. A spot for a fridge, maybe washer and dryer unit sometimes. Most builders have those on them, but they're not an ADU. They're not as big. They're not as spacious.
Attached to the actual house.
Right. For sure.
And when you're thinking about a MultiGen, think about like it's typically going to be like that third garage, right? Yeah. So you have that third garage. And that's kind of where they're placing those MultiGen, those LiveGen. So kind of let's go over the difference between the suites and a MultiGen, because a MultiGen, they have their own entrance, right? And
some of them do.
Sometimes.
Yeah. For the most part.
For the most part, they'll have their,
Yeah.
What's one that they don't? Like if you had to throw one out that they don't have their own?
Like KB Homes. KB Homes doesn't have it. They have more of their junior suite or their like live-in suite.
So that's really going to be the difference there, right? The live-in suite, the junior suite from the MultiGen is they don't have their own entrance. Now, can you create their own entrance once you buy the home?
I mean, I'm sure you throw enough money at it, you can do whatever you want.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
put a door somewhere.
It could be an option, right?
Yeah. I mean, like think about it. You can add a sliding door to a master bedroom at a regular house. Yeah. I'm sure you could probably add some type of sliding door.
After
or
the
just
fact.
A door after the fact, after you close that escrow.
Good. So I know Justin mentioned a lot about the ADU and how a lot of the resale homes are doing that. We've actually been talking to a lot of people who are building either ADUs at their house to get additional income or are buying single family homes and turning it into a junior ADU with the senior ADU there. Now they have 3 units in one property, which works if 1, you're looking at rental income, or 2, you have multiple families who are coming in, because we know that that's what's happening right now. It's really hard to afford anything. So they're like, hey, let's buy a home that has the ADU, or let's buy a home that you can add the ADU with a garage, maybe a family room like Justin was talking about. But let's talk a little bit about what type of families are actually, or what type of people are buying these homes with MultiGen, LiveGen, junior suites, ADUs, all that good stuff.
I think one of the biggest ones that you're going to see people moving in with their parents. Yeah. Right? Elderly parents that they want to care for and have living with them, but not, or not necessarily sharing a wall. So you still get a bit of a separation. So I think that's one of them there.
Yeah.
I've also seen like younger families too. If the parents are buying the home and they have some young kids with got married, have little kids of their own. I've seen that as well, wanting to have like a little suite for them and separate as they're kind of starting their careers, but they want to still be close but separate. Like that's a great for the multi-gen. That's a good option for them.
Yeah, for sure. That's usually the biggest buyer I think that we see. But then you also have like the investor buyer. Right, they're always coming in. If you could turn your single-family home into a triplex, I mean.
Yeah.
Or you got a lot of people coming from LA too.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, right, is we have these people in LA, right? Let's say they live in Long Beach, right? They can sell their house for $800,000. It's maybe a home that's pretty beat up, and they'll get a decent amount still.
Yeah, paid off usually.
Paid off, right?
That's the biggest thing.
Now they're taking that equity. They're gonna have to pay taxes on some of that money. We know that, unless they figure something out. That's
Right.
that's on them. But they're taking most of that money, and then they're telling their kids like, "Hey, we'll give you $500,000. We want to keep $3. We'll give you $500,000 to put into the next home. We want to live with you rent free." But you take over the payment on the new home, basically.
Yeah,
It's going to be
about
under your name and
$300,000.
everything.
Yeah.
I just don't want to pay nothing.
Yeah.
Like electrical, nothing. Like, can you imagine that deal? Like, that's a good deal for a lot of people. They go to these other places out in the IE. They buy the house for $800,000. Now their parents have their own little spot where they can get away from the grandkids still, and now that family's has a good start instead of just like, hey, we're going to leave the house to you, right?
Yeah.
And they still got to worry about all the repairs and all that. Like now they have the opportunity to sell this house that maybe needs all those repairs, buy something brand new. So they're really setting their families up for success at that time.
And here's the other thing too, is let's be realistic, affordability, it's hard now.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is unaffordable. We get that, right? We're out there, we see what payments are. Yeah. So when you can kind of bring in a scenario like that where it'll make sense, you have 500 grand, now you bought, let's say a 750 multi-gen, you only have a loan on 250, yeah, your payment's affordable now, right? So yeah, different scenarios. I mean, I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing now.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense.
Yeah, and I'm like families even combining income. Hey, maybe I'll my brother will buy a house with me, and he'll have one of the multi-gens, or I'll have the multi-gen, and now we have two incomes making that.
Well, I have a client, they're looking at a multi-gen, so it'll be the daughter and the husband buying the house, the mom's gonna live with them, and then the brother is gonna rent out the multi-gen part.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So different scenarios.
Yeah,
a lot can work.
I've actually had somebody reach out to me, and they're looking to purchase for their son, which is going to be in school. And they're like, hey, I want to be able to purchase this house with the ADU detached, so my son that's going to college can live in the detached one, and then I want to rent out the front one. And for them is the way they're thinking about it, and this is going to be somebody with a little bit more money, right? Because they're going to have to make sense of the cash flow coming in with the higher tax rate and all that. So now they're able to, let's say put $400,000 or $500,000 down into a house. This is their gift to their kid, right? The people in the front pay off the rest of the mortgage. The kid gets to live there. And now when the kid gets older, hey, now he's going to kick out somebody in the front. Maybe he can rent out the back. And now he has a house that's almost paid off. Like if you got some money, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's a good move.
Justin would love that. He has a fiance now. He's going to get married.
I would love that. To have, and especially depending on where you're at, if it's close to like a university, and if you're by yourself, you don't need a whole house. Yeah. So if you just take the multi-gen yourself, if you're a single guy, or if you're maybe just a young couple and you don't have kids and you don't need a whole house, if you rent out that whole house, you can maximize that rental income, and then you just take the multi-gen, or you just take the ADU.
Yeah. So anything else to add, guys, before we move on to the next episode?
No. So the biggest thing is just remember, a multi-gen is going to be a home where they're attached. So that's kind of broken off, but it's still within the same unit. When we really hear about ADUs, that's completely separate, okay? Yeah, there can be some that are in the garages, but in all reality, when people are looking at ADUs, it's a completely separate unit from the main house.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to be also coming out with a video of what communities have ADUs, what communities have the multi-gen, live-in, junior suites. We're going to be doing a full video on that and different price points. It's going to be a good one, so don't forget to check that out. Guys, don't forget, if you're looking to purchase a brand new home, do not go without us. You're going to want the representation. You have all of us here. There's always going to be a link in our description where you can book a 15-minute call Do not go without us. If you go without us on the first time, we cannot represent you. Even if you're just starting out, I spoke to a family yesterday and they're like, hey, we're going to probably sell in the next like 3 to 5 months, but we want to start checking out some homes now. Should we just go out there to go shop? No, don't go without us. Have somebody go with you. And then when the time comes, they can represent you and we'll be able to line everything up for you. So also don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with somebody that's looking to buy a home in the Southern California area. We don't only do new construction, we also do resale homes. So we're able to help you on both sides. So if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, we are the team to help you in Southern California.
Let's go.
We got a new name to the channel too.
That's right.
Living in Southern California. SoCal Cedeno, out.